So Audacity fucked up. I've never had a recording program fuck up on me before, but I guess it was bound to happen eventually.
Pretty good track record for how long you've been doing this.
I know, right? I'm actually in the back of my mind it's always been a possibility, but now I'm like, man, how long is it gonna be till OBS fucks up?
That's the end of the line.
Pretty much. Anyway, I wrote down everything that we talked about, so it's not lost forever. This first thing was that I was talking about how you were talking about the honey trees.
To just being complete bullshit.
Yeah, you can see me fucking with my my time settings because I was trying to cheese it, see if I could just like get a munchlax and be the smartest and luckiest person ever, but no, that's not how it works, unfortunately.
I said this to him before he tried this and did it anyway. Like to note.
I wasn't sure if it would work because it wasn't like changing the DS clock. I mean, you can even see the time change in real time, but no, yeah, you can't cheese it. The next thing was that we talked about the Drifloon, how the Pokedex entry, that specific one, made me wonder if the Dex entries were actually legitimate, or if they were just like kids making shit up.
And then I mentioned the Shaman Skyform Dex entry in Legends Arceus. I remember that.
Yeah, and like the professor's just like, when Shaman does it, it's fine, but when I do it, everyone loses their minds.
Everyone loses their mind.
There's Purugly. Shortly after this, I get wrecked by Purugly. I was kind of expecting to. I get clapped by a cat and then fucking killed.
It literally just clapped the butterfly out of the air.
Literally. I also, I told Jordan... Wait, hold on. Hey, Jordan. Jordan.
What?
Look, it's Reese.
Stop.
Well, last time...
I was really hoping he was going to say, wait, you said that last time.
Last time I said that, he said, no, that's Autumn, which was also funny. But yeah, I get owned by a Purugly. And then shortly after that, I get owned by a wild Pokemon because the stupid Pachirisu uses Bide, and then I get nuked out of existence.
I remember you asking if Bide is even a move anymore, and I didn't answer. And my answer is I don't know.
I still don't know.
It's better than not answering at all.
You know what? I'm gonna find out right now. I'm about to get fucking killed.
Oh shit.
Pokemon Bide. Pachirisu is really tanky, apparently, which is why it showed up once in competitive Pokemon and tanked a Draco Meteor.
And won the championships.
Well, it was at least in Gen 7. Oh wait, I think Gen 8 was when they started removing stuff.
Yeah, Gen 7 was the last one where everything was there.
It doesn't even... PokemonDB.net, you're really not helping. I don't know how to search this.
Sounds like a fucking...
Bide still in Pokemon?
That just sounds like a clickbait title. Gen 8 removed? Exclamation point, question mark.
It should be.
I'm sure it is somewhere.
Why is it so hard to find this? Just go to Bulbapedia, goddammit.
Holy shit, it's Shellos on the screen. Let's go.
Bide cannot be selected in battle from Generation 8 onwards. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you, Bulbapedia. After this, we talked about how I was asking if crit chance has stages like regular stats do, which I'm actually going to look that up right now.
My answer is I don't think it does. I think it's a different percentage chance than like the fraction thing I talked about last time.
It looks like yes, but there's a big graph here. There's a lot of numbers, and I'm not really sure what I'm looking at, but it looks like...
Pokemon is harder than your fucking calculus class.
The main okay, according to this graph, it goes to up to stage 4 of crit chance, and on Gen 6 onwards, If you have a +3 crit chance stage, then you will always crit. Okay, +3 stage critical hits is Dire Hit 3, which is from the Wonder Launcher. I don't know what that is. Moves with high critical hit ratio is +1 stage, and so is stuff like the Razor Claw and Super Luck. So if you, I guess in Gen 6 and onwards, if you have a Pokemon with Super Luck, the ability, the Razor Claw, holding the Razor Claw, and they use like Razor Leaf or something, they'll always crit.
Alright, so if you want a good Pokemon to always crit, have a Absol with Super Luck using Night Slash with a Razor Claw.
There you go. Apparently the stick/leak for Farfetch'd and Sirfetch'd increase it by 2 stages.
It breaks it. It kind of has to be there though, because the way that Farfetch'd evolves into Sirfetch'd is getting 3 crits in one battle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like they needed to have the leak be a broken crit item, or else you're just never getting Sirfetch'd.
It's actually in one battle, not just like in general.
No, 3 crits in one battle.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so you need to have like the leak, and then if he learns literally any move that has extra crit chance, which I'm sure he does, I just don't remember because I didn't use Sirfetch'd, I don't know. And then you have to find pretty much like probably a Gigantamax Pokemon that just won't die from 3 normal hits. I don't even know if that works.
That does sound annoying.
It's not even the weirdest evolution in Gen 8 either.
I'm sure it's not, because Pokemon's always had whack as fuck evolution methods ever since Gen 3 with the Milotic.
Nothing is worse than, or like weirder than a Gen 8's Galarian Yamask evolution, where you need to have, I think, 49 health or lower, and then walk under a specific rock that's in the wild area, and he'll evolve.
Wow, okay. That goes way past the grass and ice rock shit. Gen 7 Champion uses Spikes plus Roar. I only mention this because it's like the only time in me playing this series where I can remember an opponent using an actual strategy. That's all for that.
In the games, at least, there's the strategy of other random characters in like the anime, like the guy that's broken with Darkrai and Latios.
Well,
yeah. His strategy is just be broken.
Yeah, and then there's trainers who just have like a generic strategy of like use an accuracy lowering move a couple times, then start hitting you, or put the enemy to sleep and then start attacking, and or like if you want to be more specific, put an enemy to sleep and then use Dream Eater.
I really want a really hard AI at some point, like one that's like a double battle and they use skill swap on like slacking.
That would be sweet. I bet that like I bet there's some fucked up stuff like that in the what the hell is that thing called? The
Facility Tower.
Yeah, whatever they call it in every generation.
Different in some.
I always try to do that in the generations that I play, but I always just like, the AI is fucking bullshit. Like, I remember there was one specific dude in Emerald, I think it's Emerald, either Emerald or Platinum, where he has like an Alakazam and he uses Toxic on you and then just protects 5 times in a row successfully until you're dead.
Is it coded in that he just always gets the...
I'm pretty sure it is. The AI in that actually cheats. Like, it's not like the AI gets really lucky. They actually do cheat. But I don't... That's the only one I remember. But back when, like, Gen 5 came out, I remember reading on the internet about people complaining about the battle train, I think it was, in that game. And then I saw other people being like, yeah, this kind of thing's been bullshit ever since Gen 3, and they gave examples, and I only remember the Alakazam that uses Toxic and Protect.
It's kind of funny, though. It's not even like a good strategy, but it's just funny anyway.
Yeah, that's just straight up malicious from the developers.
I like that in some game they also added like the Pokemon champions, like from the TCG, they added like Wolfie VGC
Oh, they did?
as a legitimate NPC character, and they used his winning team from Worlds.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Sometimes the Pokemon Company does stuff that's actually good. Very rarely, though.
They're like right below Capcom in terms of like they put in joke, not like jokes, but they like reference the actual community in various ways. Oh yeah, Hyper Potion was nerfed from 200 to 120, which is when we were talking about all the potions, and it's kind of overkill.
Yeah, we mentioned the hierarchy of potions in general.
Yeah, where now you might as well just get Moo Moo Milks if they're available, because you can usually buy them in bulk.
Yeah, they like the worst rate for Moo Moo Milk is buying 12 at a time instead of as many as you want.
Yeah. Oh, here's the Ponyta. Okay, I think this is the Ponyta. This fucking thing.
Oh, like this Ponyta fucking evolved into Sirfetch'd.
It's yeah. It actually, in a way, it kind of does because it crits me twice. The second crit doesn't matter, but then when I redo the fight, it crits me again. Even when I win, it fucking critical hits me again. Which is like the start of what I noticed, or at least it's when I noticed that this Butterfree has weirdly bad luck. But I'll get into that more later. Here you taught me that you can shine the badges even further than regular shining.
Oh yeah.
I thought it only went to 2 sparkles, but it actually goes to 4. And maybe it goes even further, but I
this
didn't
is to
find
go
out.
even further beyond.
Ironically, at this point, I mentioned that my microphone's gonna really hate me for the noises that my desk was making, but now no one's ever gonna hear it.
Didn't get picked up anyway.
I even remember looking over at Audacity at that point, and I didn't even notice anything was anything.
If
was
you
wrong.
did, we could have saved it because this happened not that long after it fucked up.
Yeah, like 20, yeah, about 20 minutes. Also, Wolo. Wait, Wolo.
Oh yeah, Wolo.
I love
Those zeros
Wolo.
are actually O's.
Are they really? Oh, well,
Are they zeros or are they actually O's?
I'm like trying to compare it to the O in Hall of Fame. They, at least on this compression, they look identical.
So it actually is Wolo, not W0L0, even though it's win-loss 0.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what it actually is. It's definitely Wolo. I mentioned that there's a theory. It's not even really a theory, but it's like Venonat was
Venonat.
originally...
Yeah.
Which, there's also a similar theory about Magikarp was originally going to evolve into Dragonite, but even though that kind of makes sense color-wise, there's no way that's actually the case because Magikarp is based on, like, a real quotation marks, like a mythology thing of a fish that swam up a river and turned into a dragon or some shit.
And why would that not make sense for Dragonite? I think that makes more sense.
You know what? Here, let me, you're right. Let me,
It's the only reason that it makes more sense with Gyarados is because the dragon that in the mythology is specifically a serpent dragon because it's Chinese mythology.
Magikarp's evolution is based on a legend about how carp that leaped over the Dragon Gate would become dragons.
They have to swim up the whole waterfall and then jump over the Dragon's Gate, which is also why Magikarp is known for jumping really high.
Yeah. That's like if the Pokedex isn't just straight up calling it dog shit, it'll at least mention it can jump real high. Yeah, it doesn't specify what kind of dragon. It just says it will become a dragon, and so yeah, really that just reinforces the Dragonite thing.
And also, Dragonair evolving into Gyarados makes way more sense than into Dragonite.
Yeah, they're both blue snake things. That's a weird thing. Gen 1 was just weird.
Gen 1 was just wrong entirely, but without it, we wouldn't have Pokemon.
So the Venonat Butterfree thing, it's like, maybe... I mean, I brought up the fact that a gnat evolving into a butterfly doesn't make sense, but also a gnat evolving into a moth is, like, just as nonsensical, and then you were like, I mean, Weedle is like a bug that evolves into a bee with drill arms, so
Yeah.
Really, everything about this bug shit doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, here's Apom.
Oh yeah, he sucks. I hate him.
Said, yeah, it's weird to think that Apom was a single evolution Pokemon. It looks like a stage 1 of like 3. But no, it was just Apom until this game, and then it got Ambipom, one of the ugliest Pokemon to ever exist.
Very true.
And what really fucks me up is that Quillfish is still technically a single evolution. I know you said it got an alt form, or it got an evolution in Arceus, but that's off of his alt form, not its base form.
Yeah, so technically still nothing.
Butterfree has missed, I think at this point, Butterfree has missed Sleep Powder like 2 or 3 times, which is really unusual because I think Sleep Powder in Gen 3 didn't start missing until I was like at the 3rd gym, but at this point I'm like halfway up to the 2nd gym, so that's another part where I was like, this Butterfree kind of has some bad luck.
Did we talk about Burmy by this stage of the recording?
I didn't write down Burmy because I wasn't even sure if that was like worth talking about again, but yeah, I was confused.
I figured it out. Like I just figured it out when we were doing this, so I think it's worth talking about. And I don't even know if it's real. I don't even know if I'm right.
Even then, when you were looking it up, it was still hard to find information about what it actually was. Like, how do you get Trash Burmy? You fight and level up indoors, I guess, but it's like Burmy just turns into different colors depending on where you last battled, apparently.
I mean, I'll never know. I don't use Burmy.
Yeah, because, I mean, as a kid, whenever I was trying to look up how you get Trash Wormadam, I was like...
Wormadam?
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 That thing.
Wormadam.
Yeah, that's what I feel like whenever I find a Burmy. I was like, how the fuck do you catch a Burmy indoors? Like, nothing specified that Burmy just changes color depending on where you fight.
There's very few Pokemon that you can even catch indoors in the whole series as well. Like, there's Electrode.
Exactly.
That's, like, the only one I can think of is Voltorb and Electrode.
I mean, the fact that it was called Trash Form didn't help, because I was going around checking trash cans. I was like, is there like a 10% chance that a Burmy will jump out at you from a trash can? I don't know.
What's a trash can?
Not much.
Oh, yeah, I remember. It's Burmy.
Torchic has a pixel butthole.
You didn't write down the Burmy thing, but you talked about the pixel butthole gender difference.
Yes.
In Gen 3.
I only brought it up because I meant to look up if the pixel butthole is in Smash Bros, but honestly, I'm kind of afraid to find out.
If you look up Smash Bros and butthole, I guarantee you're just getting porn.
Yeah, let's just stay away from that topic. At this point, I forget what the context was exactly for me bringing this up, but when I watched the Gen 4 anime when I was younger, even back then it bothered me that James said that he had a childhood Carnivine, because I was like, that's bullshit. Gen 4 did not exist conceptually when Gen 1 came out.
I was talking about the Gen 4 anime at some point because it was my first experience with Pokemon, I think is where that came from.
Oh, yeah.
My very first Pokemon I ever saw was Gibble.
Oh, yeah, the Gibble. That's a good, I remember saying that's a good Pokemon to be introduced to.
Yeah.
Cheryl's the first of the stat trainers or specialist trainers or whatever the Bulbapedia calls them.
We love Cheryl.
She has a cool design. All of the specialist trainers have cool designs. The only thing that really kind of gets me about her is that literally everything about her screams like grass trainer, but chancy.
She's just a chance trainer at the end of the day.
I know she's the HB trainer, but it's weird to put her up front. Stat trainers? Oh, they're literally just called the stat trainers, although it's a fan name. What the hell? One of them is Arcanine?
Control attack?
Speed, apparently.
Is it just because it gets extreme speed?
It probably is, yes.
Because that's not even its highest stat.
Yeah, Cheryl's is HP with Chansey, Riley's is attack with Lucario, Buck is both defenses with Claydol,
That makes sense.
Mira is Kadabra with special attack, that also makes sense, but why is it not an Alakazam?
She doesn't have friends, canonically.
Apparently not. And Marley is speed with Arcanine. I remember her design, but I don't remember where she shows up.
Oh, she shows up from Marley and Me.
No wonder she has a dog.
Yeah. What if that's actually the reason?
I'm checking to see if that's her name in Japanese. Her name in Japanese is just Mai, so there's actually a non-zero chance. She has a male counterpart in Legends Arceus, also called Mai.
Really? Because I do know Mai in Legends Arceus. I remember that character.
Apparently, she shows up in Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Harley does, or
The Mira, this like the Kadabra girl I just posted.
who posted Mira on Twitter.com?
Shows up in the Battle Tower in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and like that's it.
In the background, or like as one of the fights? Oh, in the background. I know her.
Okay.
She's the one with Kadabra? I swear they'd be swapped. She looks like she would have an Arcanine, and the other girl looks like she would have the other one.
Anyway, getting away from these stat trainers, you also mentioned that apparently if you get into a double wild battle and both Pokemon are the same shiny, the game crashes.
I really wish it would, like, make the bricked Wii sound. You see two shiny Baneri in the fucking forest and just goes...
That would be... that... It would feel right. Oh yeah, I just missed it, but this Pachirisu is another Pachirisu that fucks me up. It paralyzes me, like, turn 1, because it's faster than me. And then I just get continually full paralyzed until I die.
I don't even remember that.
And it takes a while for me to die, too. I kill the Wurmple quick, but then the trainer brings out Beautifly, and then they just, like, take turns beating on me until I'm at, like, 1 health, and then they just start beating on Chansey as I'm just left to flounder about, getting full paralyzed repeatedly. And I think one of the times that I don't get full parried, I miss.
I remember that, yeah.
Also, separate from that, Beautifly is, a lame version of Butterfree.
I've actually unironically swept with Beautifly before.
That's surprising, considering that it's Beautifly.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it would do shit, but I've swept with it more than once, actually. Because I get it a lot in random Smogon.
Fair enough. It's also kind of ugly, so the name is, like, ironic, I guess.
Oh yeah, who said it was ugly, and I said it makes no sense that it's got a mosquito mouth, and I don't like it.
Exactly. 2 Pokemon learn the soft-boiled TM in Gen 1, and neither of them are Execute or Executor.
Executor?
Executor? Whatever. The point is that the eggs
I'm gonna need you to read, like, I need you to read every fucking Pokemon in order of Dex from Bulbasaur to whatever the last one is.
Just see how my ratio of fucked up pronunciations.
Yeah, because you've said a lot more wrong than I thought you would have.
I actually do say Executor, it's just because I said them back to back, my brain didn't, like, think about it at all.
Egg and tree egg.
Exactly.
Not the tall tree egg.
This is, like, a long discussion about how you said you were playing Elden Ring, and I was like, yeah, post Dark Souls 1 suck ass because they attack forever, and optionally choose to do last attacks that they will also fuck you up on if you like decide incorrectly to start attacking.
And it's just so not fair.
Yes.
Because I would always dodge out of the way of the times I think it's gonna do the last attack and it doesn't, and then I try to follow up and die anyway, and vice versa. Shit's ass.
It's really, really annoying. And you know what's really fucked up about it is that bosses in Elden Ring, I don't know if every boss does, but at least a lot of bosses in Elden Ring, if you hit them enough in a short amount of time, they get staggered and you can do a critical hit on them for even more damage. But I can't imagine how it's even possible to do that on most of the bosses because they're never not hitting you.
Yeah, that's what Roman tried to tell me when I was streaming the game and fighting Margit or whatever his name is. That's how I beat him, actually.
Just relentless assault.
No, I had a sword where you could like stance change into doing a really strong attack. So it would take like 2 of those really strong attacks and he would just get fucking knocked over.
Oh, wow.
So I was doing that, but even that was inconsistent because sometimes it would take 2 and sometimes it would take 7. It just made no sense.
That's weird. Yeah, the bosses suck. When I'm playing Elden Ring, like, when I'm not fighting a boss, I'm actually having fun. And then as soon as a boss comes in, I'm like, ugh.
That's how I felt, actually, yeah. Like, even the other bosses that I fought prior to Margit, I was like, yeah, this game, I can see why people like this game. This game's kind of cool. I enjoy walking around and murdering random shit, collecting things and trying to buy whatever, going through random little dungeons. And then I fought Margit for 3 hours and wanted to kill myself.
Yeah. A lot of bosses are like field bosses and they only show up at specific times of day in specific areas, and they can even show up in multiple areas. And one of the first bosses I fought was this
Horse guy?
Yeah, he was like a dude on the back of a, not like the first guy who's not a boss, but just a really strong enemy, but like it was further
He has a
on.
boss. He has a boss health bar, I'm pretty sure. The very first guy that's on a horse. The big golden armor.
Yeah, well, it wasn't him. It was later on. It was like a black rider kind of dude, and I was actually having fun fighting him because like first we were doing horse to horse combat, but then I got knocked off my horse, so I had to continue the fight on the ground, and it was actually like interesting and fun and fair. So I was like, oh, maybe the bosses actually are kind of fun, and
No.
like that was the exception rather than the rule, unfortunately.
Yeah. The first boss that I fought was some like random dungeon thing while I was fucking off not trying to fight Margit. Trying to get like armor and other shit. I found a dungeon and just went through that. And that boss was easy. Took me like 4 tries. Almost killed it first try. It was a statue of like a dog with a sword that does fire breath.
And the real kicker was that, I mean, you eventually won, right? And you said you won at like level 3.
Yes. Yes, I did.
I could never.
And then I used all of the souls or whatever the fuck the currency is in Elden Ring to level up because Roman said that I should.
Yeah, you didn't even know how to level up consistently anyway.
I didn't know I could level up consistently.
It's funny because, like, the only extensive Dark Souls knowledge you have is watching me play it, and I was doing a level 1 run.
Exactly.
It's not even like you knew from exposure in that sense. Okay, I mean, this doesn't mean a lot from me because the amount of Soulsborne games I've played is very low. I played like 2/3 of Dark Souls 3, and I think that's it. But at least going from Dark Souls 1 to Elden Ring, for me, the controls were also really fucking weird.
I don't have a prior experience with a Souls-like of any kind to tell you how, like, if it's weird or not.
Just for reference, two-handed, because in Elden Ring, you two-hand by holding Y and then pressing L or R to two-hand a specific weapon.
Yeah.
But in Dark Souls 1, you just press Y and you start two-handing your right-hand weapon.
It took me a while to figure out how to run. I remember. And I don't like run and roll being on the same button.
Hey, at least jump isn't on that button anymore.
Jump was on that button too.
Yes, to jump in Dark Souls 1, you had to be running and then like tap the run button while you're running.
Ew.
Jumping has never been good in Soulsborne, and probably intentionally, but it's still shitty.
At least in Elden Ring, it's just the A button.
At least. Here's where we nickname everything.
Rename everything to X or free.
Yeah, I was like, how do I actually spell it? And you said spell it like Butterfree, but
Yeah, Butterfree. Spelled like bird.
That reminds me of Girder, like the Pokemon.
And it reminds me of Birder, the
Be
Dragon Ball
free.
character. Yeah, and then you came
Oh,
up with
yeah.
Bidoo Free, and I was like, why the fuck did I not think of that? That's genius.
And then you said, spell it, oops, Naomi.
Yeah, Butterfree, Naomi.
It vaguely follows the same naming scheme.
It follows it phonetically.